Hey guys, it's Bourne here from Grease Monkey Gaming, and today I want to talk about the attack boats and give you guys some loadouts and a few tips on using them. Now, the gameplay today is a couple rounds of Obliteration on Parasail Storm, and in one of the rounds I end up going 15-0, so enjoy that, and let's get started. I use the vehicles quite frequently in Battlefield 4, I say usually more than I do infantry, so hopefully the tips I have and the gameplay will help you guys out. Now, the attack boats are the tanks of the sea, okay, and they should be controlled like the tanks. What you'll see me doing is a lot of pillaring. I do a lot of pillaring on the edge of the islands and the rocks. Like when I pull up to them, I'm going to peek around. Now, this minimizes the boat's exposure, keeping a lot of the boat covered. Now, this is very effective in order to find out if the enemy attack boat happens to be rounding the corner. You're not just going to throw yourself out there and you're face to face with him. Or you could peek around the corner and he might even be facing away from you. And that would give you the perfect opportunity to take him out quickly and from cover. Now, while you're playing the attack boat, the enemy boat is your biggest threat. Remember that. Always be watching for the enemy boat. Now, you need to always be looking for it on the water and constantly check your map for it as well. Now, another thing you'll see me try to do is turn the boat to the inside. Now, by this, I mean point your crosshairs or your cannon to the left or right of the boat. And make sure that when you do this, you turn the same way that you are facing. Now, by doing this, your field of vision will be better, so you can see what is actually you're turning into, not away from. And you are able to turn just a little bit faster. Plus, besides all that, it's easier. It's easier for me anyway. One more very important thing as far as controlling the boat goes is movement. You always want to be at least gliding. You know, when you pull up, try to glide into combat areas, or like I said, glide up to pillar around the island. Unfortunately, it's really hard to hit anything, you know, when you're moving, especially traveling at full speed, trying to, you know, get to the action or to combat. So try to glide into a combat area where you know there's going to be enemies. Don't just pull up, you know, hit the brakes and stop. Also, when you're there, try to bump the throttle forward. Just occasionally hit the throttle and try to keep moving, so you aren't completely stopped. Stopping does make it easier to hit enemies, you know, just with the analog sticks and controlling your aim and things. It does make it easier, especially when you're going for infantry because they're such small targets, but it also makes you a much easier target. Keep that in mind. So keep moving and you'll be harder to hit, which can lead to you living longer, and your gunners and repairman on the back will also have a chance to live longer as well. Now, we've got movement and control covered. Let's talk about loadouts. There are really only two loadouts that I ever use, and I ever only feel the need to use those two. The first would be favoring anti-vehicle playstyle, and the second favoring anti-infantry and light armor or just transport vehicles. Now, for the first loadout, the anti-vehicle loadout, I use burst cannon, TV missile, active protection, zoom optics, and maintenance. The burst cannon will destroy helicopters in one round of burst. I find that to be the easiest and most effective way of taking care of aircraft. Now, burst cannon also deals a substantial amount of damage to the attack boats. What makes the burst so great is its velocity. The rounds travel very fast, and you can pretty much get every shot on target without having to lead very much. Considering your target is at a reasonable distance for this weapon, you know, you can't be just shooting across the map at people, but they are very good, and if you line up the shot, they all have the potential to hit. Now, besides these main vehicles, the boats and the helicopters, the rib boat is going to be another thorn in your side, basically, and it can shred you if you're low health or not paying attention to what's actually hitting you. Now, luckily, one burst from the cannon on your boat, and the rib boat is no longer a threat. They are eliminated as well in one burst. Now, second, the TV missiles. These are great against boats and helicopters as well because they hit with a lot of damage. They're high damage. However, they're difficult to control, and especially when you're going for a helicopter or any air target. Just trying to predict their movement and the difficulty of the TV missile to control, it's going to be really hard to hit those. If you do learn how to control them, they are really the best option for anti-vehicle. I really don't see the need to choose anything else. That is, if you can learn to control them. Now, the last options are pretty much a given. You know, you want active protection, zoom optics, and this one, the last one, I choose maintenance because it's really not as easy to hop out and repair like you can in the tank. You can't, you know, you can, but it's just not as easy. And I think the maintenance works pretty good. But you might feel the need to choose something else. Now, the other set of options for the anti-infantry combat, I would choose the 25mm because the ammo capacity is higher than the 30, and I just think that gives you the potential to kill more enemies before you have to reload. And these also work okay against vehicles, but I'd only choose these when you're not planning to take on as many vehicles as you are infantry players. Then I would still choose TV missiles, you know, just to give you that advantage when you do encounter a vehicle. You have a little harder hitting thing than just the 25mm. But any of the other ones in the second slot would work, just depending on what you want to do. I just kind of like to stick with the TV missiles. And then the other options are the same as well. I don't really change those too much. Mainly, it's the primary weapon that really matters and what you got to worry about on the attack boat. Just know what you're getting into and which loadout will best suit the situation. So, concluding everything here that we've talked about so far, I'm just going to say, most importantly is keep moving. When you're playing an attack boat, keep moving. Someone will hunt you down and take you out if you stay in one spot too long. People hate that. Now, then, make sure you know what you're going up against. You know, the map that you're going to be playing on, what they've got as far as infantry and vehicles. If you know that, then choose the loadout that gives the advantage to you. Make sure you're giving yourself the best set of options. As always, I hope you learned something from this video, enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys later.